Well, hey there, everybody. We're here for another episode of Life Downloaded. And it's episode 8.
Yay, we made it.
We did. So, as always, I'm Dan Edge with the tremendous Samantha Rank. And today, we get a bit deep and a bit personal.
We get quite personal. I talk about a complication, an issue that's plaguing my life at the moment. So I want to bear all and be open about my challenge at the moment.
Which is all well and good. I sit here being a wondrous listening ear, occasionally making acknowledging noises, but also giving my opinion. Don't want to say much more than that because obviously we don't want to give it away. Listen after this shiny musical interlude.
Everybody, and welcome back to Life Downloaded. I believe we are on episode 8.
8? Good Lord.
Is that correct, lovely Dan Edge?
That is correct, lovely Samantha Rank.
Yes, so I've got a little bit of a husky voice going on. This is literally... I know, right? This just started about half an hour ago. It's our fault because myself and Dan... because we don't see each other apart from doing the podcast, we end up like nattering and having a good old chin wag before we start recording. So, and the discussion was quite not heated. I was just enthusiastic.
Indeed.
So I kind of lost my voice. So anyway, welcome to episode 8. Hurrah! We've survived. I think when we get to episode 10, we should have some champagne or something.
Party.
Is that a bit too
podcast party? You can have champagne.
I'll have champagne.
Yeah.
Can you get like alcohol-free champagne?
Probably, but it probably tastes foul. Because this is like the thing. Everybody goes, oh, you don't drink a non-alcoholic beer. I'm like, but the reason I don't drink is because it tastes foul.
I get you. So you don't like the taste rather than the implications of how it makes you feel.
I mean, yeah, in terms of the implications of how it makes me feel, having not drunk, I have no real want to be drunk.
No.
So, yeah, that's kind of like a secondary bonus. But I've just generally never liked the stuff.
No, I get that. I think our taste buds kind of change over time, don't they? And I definitely go through all different phases. I used to like drink wine and now I'm a bit like, But as I get older, my tolerance has gone completely down. So I might end up being teetotal like you one day. We'll see. And then
Come join the club.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm
nice.
sure I feel a little bit better. So Dan, what have you been up to? Out north, out and out.
Out and out. Well, after episode 7, I have my shiny new iPhone.
Ooh.
I was at launch day.
Hurrah.
It does reach a point, though, when the guys at your local-ish Apple store, because I don't have a local one, but my closest Apple store saw me on launch day and went, hey, it's you. We expected to see you today. That says a lot, doesn't it?
That's quite sad, isn't it? Was there a lot of people queuing outside?
There were, but you see, Apple are very clever when it comes to this, because when you pre-order your phone and you want to go collect it from the shop on launch day, you have to book a slot.
Yeah.
So, like, you get a half-hour slot and a whole bunch of people turn up in half-hour slots. So the queues aren't massive. Where the really massive queues come in are for people that don't pre-order and a chance in their arm and they're trying to sleep outside the shop in the first thing in the morning.
And
it's like, I appreciate that. I appreciate the effort going in, but it's too much for me. I couldn't queue outside the shop.
No, I mean, I just avoid it at all costs, to be honest. I even see it when I go to Westfield Centre, to the shopping centre, and they've got the store, and then they've got like a queuing area outside of the store.
Yeah.
And it baffled me the first time I saw that when I first moved to London. I was like, are they giving something for free? Like, why are these people standing there? Are they waiting for free things? It's like, no, they're just waiting to get into the store.
For the new things.
Blew my mind.
But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed the Apple launch event.
Good.
And I've got my shiny new phone.
You've got your shiny new phone with your your weird camera.
With 3 camera lenses.
Wow. You did just do a really random selfie thing of
Yeah,
me.
we did a slow-fee.
A slow-fee, which no one will ever see.
It's all right. We'll do it one day when we're at an event and you're all glammed up. We'll do a slow-fee.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, when I'm looking sexy.
You can have long, wavy hair.
Yeah, or if I'm coming out of a pool or something like that. I don't know how that would work because you normally use a hoist.
Proper like Daniel Craig, Halle Berry out of the water of the James Bond.
I don't think it would be that sexy though. No, because them hoists go really slow themselves.
They do.
You know what I mean?
It's like
it's a bit like a stair lift. It's like, for goodness sake, just get on with it already.
Yeah. Slow motion. That'd be
slow mo. I'll get some shells in my hair. Or something like that, or coconut bra.
Yeah, coconut bra.
Oh,
seashell bra like a mermaid.
Oh, honestly.
Put a false tail on you. I do actually have a friend's wife from my time working at the trade union. I went down to a trade union meeting, an equity meeting for the South and Southwest Variety brand.
Ooh. I was going to say something really sarcastic then, but I won't.
Well, there you
Carry
go.
on.
And the lovely Xander picked me up, and his wife is actually a mermaid. She makes she makes her money being a mermaid.
Oh, like a oh no, I've heard of that. I thought they only did that in America.
No, well, she does lots of children's parties and all that kind of stuff, but also shows for holiday camps and stuff as a mermaid. So yeah, I have a friend that is a genuine mermaid.
Well, my favourite Disney film is The Little Mermaid.
Is it?
And very quick story. So I was in the choir when I was at school, but when I was in
Voice of an Angel.
I know,
Voice
right?
of an Angel.
Oh yeah, really sexy. But yeah, I must have been about 7, and they asked me to sing a solo. You know, part of your world.
Oh yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong.
See, I was always more of an Aladdin fan over.
Well, yeah.
Mermaid,
I mean, this is why we could never be together. Anyway.
Indeed.
But I chickened out. I remember because I just wasn't this confident when I was younger. I was cheeky, but I wasn't confident. And I remember that this other girl ended up singing it, but I turned up because the costume was already ready. So I turned up in head to toe handmade Ariel.
Amazing.
Outfit. I think I've got pictures of it, so I'll send it to you. But I was.
And we'll put it on the Life Downloaded.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, and I just remember her singing it, and I was crying in the choir because deep down inside I was thinking, oh, I should have just done it. But I didn't have the confidence.
Oh.
I know, which is something I can relate to a little bit.
Now.
Well,
I'll tell you what, Sam. The next time you get invited to one of those celebrity bashes that you get invited to,
I'm not singing.
I'm not saying you should sing, but if we find you another mermaid outfit, and then I'll find a ridiculous wavy shirt and come as Eric.
No, you can become Sebastian.
You think? Under the sea.
I know, right?
Under the sea.
My goodness.
That song is such a euphemism.
Yeah, I mean the whole of
Brilliant.
Disney is, isn't it?
But
really?
Under the Sea is a prime example.
Oh my goodness me. Yeah.
You know it's better down where it's wetter under the sea.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's all very PC.
Of course.
Above board. So, now we've had a good ramble for the first 5 minutes.
As all good Life Downloaded podcasts start.
Exactly. Can you tell we really planned this down to the T? So I posted something on Twitter yesterday.
You did.
About having I was having a really shit day. And I have been battling with something for some time, and I said that I've not talked about it, and it's really funny because I am an activist and campaigner, and I would say I'm pretty transparent with my life, as you probably know if you are an avid Life Downloaded listener.
Yep.
I don't really have
We do have a few of them, they're lovely.
Yeah, hello there. I don't have any filters, and I'm pretty easy to talk. Watch it. I'm pretty easy to talk about all aspects of my life.
Indeed.
However, I've not really spoken much about the problem I'm facing at the moment, purely because I've been quite embarrassed, and also because I am scared of what people might think or how people will perceive me, which is ironic because I am in a wheelchair, I do have an impairment, I visibly look different, and I've always faced kind of prejudice, so why would this be any different? So basically, I have a condition. So my condition is brittle bones, osteogenesis imperfecta. But I think I've already mentioned previously in one of the podcasts. My teeth are also brittle. So I have osteodentinogenesis. So not everyone with my condition has it. I am one of the lucky few. But up until, like, I would say 3 years ago, this has never been an issue. My teeth were always discoloured because I don't have enamel on there, because I don't have collagen, and collagen is in enamel. So I don't have that. So my teeth have always looked slightly greyish, which is very sexy. And my teeth are quite petite. So I've even had, like, people, I remember a boy at school called Liam, I won't say his last name, said, do you even have teeth? And that stuck with me for ages. So I've never really had any issues, never had a fill-in, never really been conscious of it until I started working television. And then I was like, oh my God, yes, sometimes it literally looks like I don't have any teeth. And then about 2.5 years ago, I woke up and I had broken one of my front teeth off in my sleep. Snapped it off. And ever since then, I've had a number of extractions, luckily further at the back. But about a week ago, my gums started to, what's it called? Recede. So basically, my gums have started to go smaller and smaller, which means that my front teeth have become wobbly, because obviously your gums support your teeth. Now, the dentist has said, because my jaw, you've got bone in your jaw, but my jaw is basically shrinking because of my condition, because obviously bone density decreases, which then means your gums then shrink, which then means you may have to have your teeth extracted. So basically what I'm trying to say is I might face losing a lot more of my teeth. And at age 33, that's not something you really want to hear. And it's a very scary prospect because, you know, I do work in television. I am already quite self-conscious about it. And as I was saying to you, Dan, we have as people in general, not so much as the Americans who all have like veneers, but there is this perception that if you've got bad teeth, you are somehow unhealthy, you are poor, you are maybe rough, like you get into fights, you're unhygienic.
Yep.
I've often heard girlfriends say, oh, if he's got nice teeth, then you know that, you know, he washes himself properly. I had a friend recently dump someone because they had funny teeth, you know, and they were like, I couldn't kiss someone with weird teeth. And that has been playing on my mind a little bit. Dan, I mean, would you agree with me, Dan? Would you say that, you know, it's a bit like saying the eyes are the
windows to the soul.
Windows to the soul, and teeth, you know, if you've got a good smile. And I think, you know, we have adopted, particularly in England, we have adopted this American view of, you know, you've got to have a perfect smile.
Yeah, I think, like, as I've got older, teeth have definitely become more of a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can understand people being concerned about teeth and everything else. And, you know, because of your impairment, we've spoken about this before, you can't do the Ryland Clark Neal veneers.
No,
and
I wish I could.
And you know, no disrespect to Ryland. Ryland's lovely. Ryland's doing very well. I'm not one of these people that goes, oh my God, Ryland's on everything. Fair play to him. He's got a good agent. He's good at his job. But, you know, everybody knows Ryland for his teeth.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Ryland for his teeth. And lots of people now aspire to the Ryland teeth.
Yeah.
They do. And that's perfectly fine. But for a lot of people, due to expense, due to impairment, those teeth aren't an option.
Yeah.
They're definitely not for me. I couldn't afford those teeth.
No. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I can understand people having concerns, having worries about it. For sure. As always, I think, sadly, there's more pressure on you as a woman than me as a guy. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean there isn't pressure both ways, but I think
get that.
I think generally, you know, appearance issues widely affect women more than they do men in a lot of cases. Not every case, good Lord, no. But I think a bloke can get away with being slightly wonky. I mean, you look at the amount of people that fancy rugby players that have had their faces smashed in through years of playing rugby.
I like men that look like rough.
Yeah, but you see that's case in point. You like men that look rough. That I don't know many men. Possibly doesn't mean they don't exist. But I don't know many men that say, yeah, I love a woman that looks rough. That looks rough and looks like she's played rugby and been smashed in the face. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all women that play rugby look rough or been smashed in the face. That's not what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
But it's a case of, blokes are allowed by society as a whole to be a little bit more rough around the edges, appearance-wise, than women are.
Yeah.
But, I'd also like to think on the same token that it's changing. And people are starting to go, well, actually, this is a bit ridiculous. But I think, sadly, that change is happening slower than the change of, oh my God, I want perfect Ryland teeth. I want the only way is Essex teeth. I want to look like the Housewives of Cheshire. I want to look like the people on Love Island.
Yeah.
There is a massive body acceptance movement going on, and rightfully so. And there's amazing people that do it, including you and myself, and so many people on Instagram. But it's a double-sided discourse. That sounds posh, doesn't it?
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, double-sided discourse. In the fact that as much as there's a body acceptance movement going on, there's also a very much look like the people on Love Island have perfect teeth like Ryland movement going on, and the aspiring to that. And there's nothing wrong particularly, I suppose, aspiring to either. But I think, especially in the media, because of the way the media is shaped, the Ryland image gets pushed more than
Poor Ryland. I'm sorry, Ryland. We love you, really.
This isn't comment on Ryland. Ryland is amazing. But, Ryland is a prime example because he is known for his teeth. And that is the only reason I'm using him as an example. I have nothing against him and his perfectly preened ways.
We're gonna have to send like an apology letter to his agent or something.
No. I have all the time in the world for Ryland because he does genuinely, and I know he does a lot for LGBT rights, and he's fabulous.
But I do completely get what you're saying, and I find it strange that this has really, really upset me. I mean, I'm talking to you now on a podcast, because I don't particularly want to cry on a podcast, but yesterday was one of the toughest days I've had for a very, very long time, and believe me, I've had tough days. I just felt, a whole host of emotions went through me. I felt like I honestly, I was like, had like bad karma got around, like what have I done to deserve this? I think what I struggled with is when we talk about anything aesthetic, when you have an impairment, when you have a disability, no one seems to want to care or to help. I've had this complete lack of empathy from even friends about the fact that I am potentially losing teeth, of the whole thing, oh, well, you can't really see your teeth anyway, Sam. Or, it's just, I don't know, it seems to be this whole thing of, well, you're already disabled, so one more thing. What are you complaining about? And, I would like to say, not that I'm a multimillionaire, but, I would like to say I do have savings. So if anything, went drastically wrong, I'd be able to maybe pay privately, because I get, NHS at the moment, pay privately and sort it out. I wouldn't be able to have, implants put in. I wouldn't be able to have a permanent solution, but I would be able to do something.
Yeah, there would be something.
But equally, it's, I don't know. Before moving to London, I went to my GP and I asked for a breast augmentation. Okay. So another cosmetic procedure. And the reason for that was I have asymmetric breasts. Now, asymmetric breast means that one's a little bit bigger than the other. Now, back then, so this is talking like 7-8 years ago, I was a lot more body conscious, dealing with my own identity. And also, I think I got bombarded with, kind of images of like pornography and what women's boobs should look like. And I didn't feel adequate enough. I'd also recently had a spinal operation, so you can imagine my whole body structure changed which meant my chest kind of changed,
Yeah.
which made my asymmetry a bit more prominent, and I hated it. I could not have sex. I couldn't take off my bra during sex. I felt really self-conscious. And can I just say that actually almost every woman has asymmetric breasts, so this, I thought I was the only one, and I thought it was related to my impairment, and I just felt like an absolute freak. But actually, it's super, super, super common, unless you maybe have breast augmentation. But anyway, so I went to the GP, and I told her, it was a lady GP, and I just said how it's affecting me, my confidence, my sex life, and I actually got it approved on the NHS. Great. And then I moved to London. So when I went to my GP in London, they were like hell to the no. Because the funding just wasn't there. And actually they did me a massive favour, because I've already had 9-10 operations. Don't really need another operation. And now, do you know what, boys? If you don't like my boobs, then tough shit. I don't like your penis. So there you go. You know what I mean? It can work both ways, can't it? Really?
It can.
And I've accepted who I am, but that is a real rarity. And I just think that when you're talking about people like you or I or anyone with an impairment that have scars or have teeth falling out or have curvature of bones, or all the kind of cosmetic-y things that we really don't have any control over. My dentist alluded that I had mistreated my teeth, which was a pain in the bottom, because I know I really don't. And I was like, well, actually, there's many people out there that have no control over it, and maybe aren't in a financial position, or not even that, insurance won't cover a lot of people with disabilities to get these procedures done. So I just wish there was a bit more empathy, a bit more understanding of cosmetic procedures for people within the disabled community. Would you agree? I mean, is there anything
totally. I mean,
that you can kind of relate to? I mean, again, it's
kind
of different because you're a guy, or
it is different because I'm a guy, but on the same token, as I'm getting older, I'm getting more curvatures and imbalances because I'm, the way I move and whatever else. So, when I was a guy, when I was growing
when you were a guy?
When I was a guy, yeah.
Do you want to share something with us, Dan?
No, genuinely a guy all the way through. But when I was a young guy, I grew up watching wrestling, which obviously now I've been involved in. But because I watched wrestling, I wanted to be 6'3".
Yeah.
Because wrestlers are big dudes. I wanted to be 6 foot plus. I wanted to be 225 pounds, 230, 40, 50 pounds muscle guy, because that was what I was into. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's And then I went to the thing, and they said, if it wasn't for your CP, you probably would be about 6'3", but you're not gonna get there.
Yeah.
So I kind of went, oh. And obviously there's nothing you can do about how tall you're gonna grow, and as I'm getting older, like I say, I'm getting a bit more curved and a bit more uneven and a bit more bendy in the wrong places. Not necessarily in a good way. But yeah, so even as a guy, there's body image issues. And we've done work before with charities about body confidence and body image together, because they've realised what a brilliant team we are.
We work so well together.
We do. But yeah, so definitely. And I think part of the issue when it comes to cosmetic procedures with people with impairments is your impairment may or may not have other medical connotations.
No.
And that's your own personal position. I'm not even going to dive into that. But I think in terms of medical procedures as well, it's about the non-disabled community. And this is not entirely their fault, but I think this is definitely a factor of the non-disabled community seeing disabled people as attractive sexual beings.
Yeah.
Because you were saying about your friends, not acknowledging your teeth, and that's their prerogative. But I think it boils down as them sort of going, like you say, you're disabled anyway. I don't necessarily see you, and I'm not putting words in their mouth, but I think,
but I agree with you.
I think it boils down to sometimes people don't see disabled people as sexual beings,
or just even attractive. You know, I think even when I went for my spinal operation, so the doctor was talking about all the things that could go wrong and this, that and the other. And I just said to him, because at that time I did have a bad curve in my spine, I said, get me as straight as possible, as in I want to be taller. And also I didn't have a neck. Like my vertebrae, I mean, I've not got a massive neck now, but I was really, really squashed together. And all I said to him was, that's all I want. Like, you know, this is a life-saving operation.
Yeah.
But I was just obsessed with the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Because I knew that this is my one chance to maybe, you know, feel more comfortable in my own skin. And you say that to a spinal surgeon who is all about, you know, just mechanics of everything. It kind of blew his mind why I would... I mean, even just on this, like, you know, scarring and things like that. I said to, like, he's done a perfect scar on my back. He was very skilled, and it's a very tiny, tiny scar. But even, like, talking about things like that before you go in for an operation. Like, you know, is there any way that we can put a scar somewhere that it's not as visible? You know, some of these scars that I have on my legs from previous operations, I look like I've been butchered. Like, you can tell the surgeon's just gone in, ripped, you know, like really not taking much care, because all they want to do is get in there and fix what they need to fix, not them realising that actually, you know, I've got to live with these marks for the rest of my life. And I think a lot needs to go on about this. Even a good friend of mine, her partner had colon cancer, so he had most of his colon removed, and he now has a colostomy bag. And obviously you have to sew up your bottom, yeah, that, because you won't be using that anymore. And I even thought, gosh, what if, like, you know, if you're a gay man, or, you know, we don't seem to talk about anything aesthetically when we are dealing with operations or people with impairments or health conditions. It seems to be this, like, secondary thing, and it blows my mind, because we're constantly going on about the increase in mental health issues, which are, let's face it, related to these pressures that we receive every day from the Love Island, from, you know, kind of wanting to be perfect, quote unquote, you know, yet we don't really discuss it. So I think our health minister, what's his name? Jeremy Hunt.
No, he's not health minister.
Who is he? Well,
Matt Hancock, I believe.
who's Jeremy Hunt? What's his title? I don't even know.
I don't know what Jeremy's
So Jeremy
doing.
Hunt, that one.
I don't think it's him anymore, though. I think it's Matt Hancock. We'll go
Yes,
with
but
Matt
it used to be, though. Well, I'm
Yes,
thinking
he
when he
used-
was.
Yes.
Yes, so he used to be. This is what I'm thinking of. So he used to be our health minister. And I think about four years ago or so, he basically said that the NHS should stop all cosmetic procedures. And I kind of partly agreed with him. I recently watched a TV programme where a girl got breast augmentation, and she lied during her psych evaluation or you know, the therapy treatment, you know, to say that she was miserable, even though she wasn't, to get money. So I'm sure, like everything, like the benefit system, like, you know, most things, you can get those who abuse the system. But then I just thought, gosh, what about, again, people like myself who find themselves in a situation that I didn't think I would be in, that has devastated me, that could impact my work, that could impact my mental health, my confidence, my interaction with society, but then couldn't go privately to get it sorted because I'm not insured. They won't insure me. So my only other option would be turning to the NHS. You know, I think it's a dangerous path when we start excluding those who literally have no other option. And as you just said, I think that sends a message that disabled lives don't really matter. We are insignificant, you know. Sorry, you're all smirking at me.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Did that get deep?
No, it did get deep, but I was just smirking, going, there's nothing insignificant about you, darling.
Oh.
Not
Because I've got a slight bra showing, that's why he's being nice to me.
No, it's because that doesn't make me sound like a total pervert.
I was really warm, guys, so I've just put on a different little top, and it's a little bit...
It is toasty, and it's a little bit revealing.
But it's a bit revealing. Okay.
But it's okay. Sam and I have been friends for a long time.
I know. But would you agree, though? I think it's just this whole, like you just said, this perception of disabled people not wanting to be confident, not wanting to be proud of their appearance.
Yeah, and do you know, I talk about disabled people in film and TV and that all the time, and when, like, for example, Poldark is the one that.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, so like when he took his shirt off on Poldark, women around the country went.
Curved.
Phew, and probably men around the country went.
Oh yeah, of course.
People around the country went, holy shit.
He's really hot.
Yeah. I'm looking forward, and I hope it happens in my lifetime. It won't be me, but I hope it happens in my lifetime that there is a disabled man or woman on film or TV that has that moment.
Yeah.
Because that would be flipping. It won't be me. Well, if it is, I need to start going to the gym more.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's this whole thing of there are people that do find disabled people very attractive, but then we go into the whole I can never say the word
fetishize.
That's the one. So, and I'm not saying that disabled people aren't attractive.
No, none of that.
I think you're very attractive, Dan. You know what I mean?
Thank
so
you.
there you go. But I get what you mean. Like en masse, you're talking about.
I would love that. Like en masse, men around the country just going, holy hell!
I won't mind doing that.
That disabled person, whatever their impairment may be, I just like. I'd bend over backwards, or whatever they may want to do with that person.
Tickles me funny.
Yeah, exactly that. I would love for that moment to happen, and I think there has been small echoes of it. Like I know when my friend Jack Ayres did.
Of course.
Jack is a good-looking lad.
Yes. Did he not win? What did he win?
He's paracanoeist and all sorts.
Did he not win Britain? Like
He was he was Mr. England.
Mr. England.
So there are good looking disabled people out there, and I know like when Jack did an ad for Scope a few years back and took his shirt off, there were quite a few women
I can imagine.
Going phew. But like Poldark goes down in history as one of those shows where everybody just kind of went, ha.
Yeah.
And
did you a little bit?
No.
No. Oh.
Not my type.
Oh, not my type either.
But yeah, I would love for a disabled person, whichever gender, whichever sexual orientation, don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I would love for a disabled person to have that mass effect sexual moment.
Completely. And I get that. And I think this is why this happening to me has impacted me as much as it has. It's because I've already got in my head, through no fault of my own, through other people imposing their ableist kind of views onto me, that I'm not good enough anyway, or I'm not attractive enough anyway. So even though I've got the side of me going, well, actually, Sam, you're fucking amazing, excuse my language, but you are amazing, and that, I'm an amazing dresser, I love my hair, and I love, there's so many redeeming elements to me that I really, really like and I really love, that there's that little kind of devil inside of me that is like, my God, if I end up like, having a couple of teeth missing, even if I've got to like wear like a denture or something, that will make me even, you know what I mean? That will just amplify already all these people that don't want to, date someone who's disabled. You know what I mean? Because there's already so much prejudice.
Yeah.
Towards, I mean, I'm talking personally about me because I've not had good with online dating, people being very sarcastic, being very rude, being very dismissive, So I just think, geez, this is just another added level. And I'm sure there's some people out there that will be listening, going, well, when you find the right person, they won't care, etc. And I am sure that is true. But right now, where my mental health is and where my confidence is, it's kind of hard to see into the future and see that kind of person who would not care.
I get that.
And I think that's mainly because we are bombarded with what it's like to be lovable, sexy, perfect.
Yeah, and I get that, totally get that. And this is one of those frank, open and honest podcast conversations where there are solutions, there are ways around it. We could come up with a sunshine and rainbows answer, but at the moment we're just being frank and honest.
Being frank and saying it's crap. I feel like crap. I feel like crying. But you know what? Well, it doesn't kill you. It makes you stronger.
Indeed.
And in retrospect, I have been through a lot worse.
But you know, I think.
But it still doesn't make it any better, does it?
No, right now it doesn't. But in a month's time, we'll no doubt be in a different place.
Do you know what? My sister said to me, because she always believes everything happens for a reason. I kind of do as well. She said, you've always been conscious about your teeth and the discolourment of them and people not being able to see them properly, etc. She went, if you do end up losing more and then you do end up getting like a bridge,
yeah,
or whatever, you could then get them as white as Rylan.
Well, there you go. See,
and then have
you can be up there with
have the perfect teeth that you always wanted.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So maybe
for
this is my sacrifice to the universe.
Maybe. But you know, this is the thing, and the reason, you know, we're being so open and honest about it is because that's what this podcast was about.
Yes.
That's what this podcast is about, because we know, Sam and myself, that we're not the only ones in this position. Now, we will encourage you to be body positive until we're blue in the face, because 9 times out of 10, we are.
Yeah, of course.
But we also want to lay on the line, we're human and we have wobbles, and, you know, it's that kind of scenario too.
And we have days where I just literally want to sit with my cat and cry and eat chocolate.
I have days where I want to sit and eat chocolate.
Just all the time. Just not cry.
The thing is, like, if I'm honest, this will wreck my hard man wrestler image, but I cry all the time.
I like men who cry. That's fine.
Like, I cry at yeah, but I'm like terrible.
Like more like watching The Lion King or something.
Yeah, I cry at TV. I cry at TV, and like it's not even that I'm feeling particularly emotional. It's just like, oh my god, there it goes.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
That's kind of cute. I don't mind that at all. I mean, my sister said to me yesterday, she went, take today, have a cry, go watch yourself in the mirror, cry. And I went, it's all right, I've already done that. Have you ever done that where you're feeling just so sorry for yourself that you literally go to a mirror, like if you're at the sink, and you just look and you look in the mirror at yourself crying and just feel absolutely pathetic?
A little bit. Yeah, no, but it's true, you know. You have days like that.
I actually feel really good that I've got it off my chest
good,
a little bit.
Good.
I now feel, because you know what the biggest thing is? Keeping things to yourself.
Yep,
and
totally.
then thinking, oh, what if people notice or what would people say? But now I've kind of like, I mean, it's not like we've had hundreds of thousands of listeners, but those listeners that will be listening, you know what I mean? I now feel like I don't have to feel ashamed or embarrassed. At least you know that, you know what I mean? Like, I just genuinely feel like, this is what's happening to me. I can't control it.
Well, this is it. And if your tweet that you put out was anything to go by, because you tagged me in it, my phone went off
sorry.
No, it's fine. But my phone went off every 30 seconds.
Oh, I even had Eamon Holmes message me.
You did. You had quite a lot of the celebrity glitterati.
Oh, see, this is why I'm saying I'm very blessed, and this is why today I'm not crying. Yesterday I had my cry. This morning I might have had a little cry. But now I'm like, no, right, what have I got to do? I've got to go and see my specialist. I've got to get on it. I need to be proactive. I need to stop putting money away. Sorry, Lola, you're not going to be getting any more cat toys because Mummy needs some new teeth.
There you go. But yeah, you know, if like I say, if your tweet that you put out yesterday was anything to go by, which I specifically didn't comment on, not because I was ignoring you.
Lazy.
No, it wasn't lazy either. It was just because
joking.
I wanted to, you know, have a chat with you face to face.
Oh my god, you're really scared. I didn't mean to be dramatic.
No. But it's like, you know, you're important to me, and some things you just have a word quietly, some things you tweet about.
Yeah. Some things that I go live on air and be like.
Yeah. So for me, it was just, firstly, before, you know, this podcast is fun and we love doing it, but more importantly, you're my friend first. So I just dropped you a message and sort of said, are you all right? We'll talk about it.
And you are. You're a good egg, and we are there for each other. But I mean, again, on a serious note, and as Dan said, that I hope I might have helped someone by being open. I'm not saying that everyone's losing their teeth, but whatever challenge you're facing at the moment, whatever situation that you just feel like, why me? You know, or just kind of just feel absolutely drained because it seems to be one thing after another and you feel a bit hopeless. You're not alone. You know, I'm sure people look at me and think, oh, she's got a really great life and she does this and she's dead confident. Well, actually, I'm really struggling at the moment. And if I struggle, then you should feel all right about you struggling.
Yeah.
And what I would say is there's always a solution to a problem. It might not be that clear. And in the words of my sister, you know, I do believe everything happens for a reason. Again, it might not seem that clear, but everyone's got their path to kind of walk or roll, you know, and we all have our challenges thrown at us, and I think it's how you deal with it and how you overcome that. And I think my overcoming it is talking to you all and being open and honest. I now don't actually feel as alone, which is nice. So on that happy note, you're not alone. I know, you're not alone.
You're not alone. Why am I singing?
I don't know.
Don't know why I've broken into song. Possibly because I've been practicing singing for an audition on Friday. But that's...
Yay! Have you got a nice voice?
Well,
Sing your voice.
If you listen to the Paddy Power advert where they specifically told me to...
You know what? I still need to Google it.
Have you not watched that yet?
No, I think I remember it. Bad friend alert. I think I remember it when it was out, but I didn't know you then.
Yeah.
So I probably didn't pay much attention. No disrespect.
No, none taken. But yeah, I would just like to point out they asked me to sing badly on that advert purposely.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I needed to sound like a football fan that's sort of singing and chanting rather than.
I was getting a bit worried then. I thought you needed to like sound like you were, I don't know, like
No.
out of tune on purpose.
Well,
like...
yeah, kind of.
God.
But yeah, it was more, you know. I was singing.
You're a lager lad.
Indeed. I was singing a version of Gold with different
Gold.
lyrics. Indeed.
Always believe in your soul.
That's the one.
Right, I think we should like totally wrap up this podcast because it's gone on such a tangent, and I'm pretty sure all the listeners are going, "What the frack is going on?"
But essentially, I needed to sing a version of that song, and I had an amazing vocal coach. He was amazing and taught me through it all. But he kept saying, Dan, will you please stop singing it like you're actually a part of Spandau Ballet and sing it more like a football fan?
Nothing wrong with that.
So if you do watch that, it's not my best singing voice purposely. But I'm not going to say I'm going to win X Factor, but I can hold a tune.
hold a tune.
I can hold a tune.
You can hold a tune. And on that note, let's
What are we calling this podcast?
Toothless. Yeah.
Episode 8, Toothless.
Toothless.
Like the dragon.
Toothless.
Like the dragon.
Is there a dragon?
Yeah.
Oh,
from How to Train Your Dragon, the lead dragon is called Toothless.
Oh, Toothless. There you go. Yes, so that was episode 8. Thank you for letting me offload and bear all. I really hope that my words have resonated with even just one person, and yeah, thank you, Dan, for being an amazing friend and podcast host. I think that's pretty much it, because as per usual, I'm actually really quite hungry.
It's like a pattern.
I know, right?
It's a pattern, everybody. But yeah, so this has been episode 8, now known as Toothless. I am Dan Edge.
I am Samantha Roan.
This has been Life Downloaded. Trust me, guys, talking about stuff helps.
Yep.
This is case in point, and if we've made your day a little bit better, awesome.
And we love you all. Aww.
We shall see you, or at least you shall hear us, for episode 9. Take care of yourself, guys, and listen to us again soon.
Bye.